This is SoapBox Radio. Potting it out there with my lime boots. The Lifestyle Edit.
Hey guys, it's Ryan. It's a Thursday afternoon. It's just gone 4 o'clock and I'm sitting in the lovely suburb of Bryanston this afternoon with a very special man I've been hunting down for a while, and I've managed to get hold of him recently and spend some time together, and we're going to have a great show this afternoon as we come to you live from Bryanston at Jackson's Real Food Market. Welcome to SoapBox Radio, and I hope you enjoyed my show from 2 weeks ago, which was the last show that we did. Came to you live from the Cape Town International Convention Centre during World Travel Markets Africa, as we took a further, more detailed look at the water issue in Cape Town. An issue that really is not just a Cape Town issue, but one we should all be considering as responsible citizens of the world. A massive thank you to Jojo Tanks, who gave away a 1,000-litre tank, as well as to the Doubletree by Hilton in Woodstock, who gave us 2 nights for 2 people to give away. Stay tuned for more fantastic giveaways in the future, and check my latest blog post, including a video shot while I was in Cape Town, for more on the water issue. Check out which celebs I chatted to and what their fancy water-saving tips are. Anyway, back to today's show. Let me tell you about today's guest, who I finally tracked down recently, and man, was it worth the wait.
Yo, what's up?
Baby, let's go!
So today I find myself, as I said, in Bryanston in northern Joburg, sitting in the Jackson's Real Food Market store in the company of founder Gary Jackson. Before we bring him into the conversation, let me briefly give you some background on Gary. Gary is quoted as saying his mission is to provide an alternative, healthy, nutrient-dense and chemical-free food supply. Big ambitions, but wait, you probably haven't chatted to the man just yet. Gary started with a tiny corner shop, the first Jackson's Real Food Market, in May 2014, and quickly saw that the need for clean, chemical-free food was in great demand. September 2016 saw the Bryanston store, the one that I'm in today, open, with demand exploding as people sought out healthy meal options as part of their eating out plans. Gary Jackson, the founder of Jackson's Real Food Markets, has 25 years food retail experience and is a dynamic small business owner who believes it is his mission to keep customers thrilled and exceed their wildest expectations. As an advocate of the real food movement, Gary encourages families to eat grass-fed and pasture-raised animals, eggs and dairy. He also feels very strongly about including organic, naturally grown produce containing 0 chemicals in your daily diet. The goal is simple: nutrition for you and your family at an everyday low price. Gary goes on to say that Jackson's Real Food Market is a haven for foodies who want to learn, taste, sample and relax while shopping, offering the best that South Africa has available, the cleanest and most natural food to keep us happy, healthy, vital and increase our longevity. With that brief background, let's jump straight into today's discussion. Welcome, Gary Jackson.
Thanks very much. Nice to have you here.
Thank you. Did I sum you up correctly there, Gary? Have I got it all in?
I think so. It was
okay.
Quick and brief. And
yeah, but it got to the point, eh?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Gary, talk to me about growing up. Were you that child who was always in the kitchen?
I don't think it was by choice. I think it was my mom that used to put me in the prep sink.
Okay.
As a little kid, and I would watch her wash vegetables and make meatballs and stuff. So I did spend my formative years in the kitchen sink, as it were, but literally.
Yeah. Okay. So that's where the passion comes from, hey, Gary?
I guess so.
Okay. So what motivated you to get more involved and take an interest in the food you were eating? Where does that passion come from?
I went through quite a long patch, maybe 25 years of being bulletproof in my definition.
Okay.
And that really meant drinking as much alcohol, eating as much fast food, and really not caring about what I put into my mouth.
Yeah.
The end result, though, was tragic, because I really was ill.
Yeah.
I suffered from a number of problems. A lifelong problem was my intolerance to wheat and rye.
Okay.
So I grew up as a kid with a runny nose, eczema, dry skin, and really not a happy youngster. And only at kind of the age of 35, 40 did I realize that it didn't need to be like that.
Yeah. Okay, and that was the motivating factor to get you just have a look and see what you were eating and just consider things from a different point of view.
Yeah, it took a while. I was involved in the fast food industry.
Okay.
And ate fast food 3 times a day for quite a while.
Yeah.
For lengthy period, and I ended up virtually being hospitalized.
Oh, really?
And had to stop, pull up the handbrake, and review the rest of my life.
Yeah. Okay. So Gary, tell me, 25 years in food retail, how has that prepared you for a moment such as this, like with Jackson's, the brand?
Sure. Retail's not for sissies. It's a tough business.
Yeah.
And school fees are abundant, and I guess 25 years of school fees, I still make errors daily, but I am better positioned to not make the same mistakes over and over again. So it's put me in good stead. I've learned a lot. I've learned at the coalface, literally doing all the jobs in retail, from peeling potatoes to paying payrolls and stuff. So because I can do everything myself, it's easier to train other people and teach them, and that I can speed up their training curve.
Because you understand, eh? Yeah,
it's easier to impart that information.
Yeah. Was having a food store like Jackson's always something in the back of your mind?
Well, yes. I mean, you'd go shopping, and you would have a sort of narrow selection, and so the dream was always, if I could have a shop one day that I could decide exactly who to buy from, and taste everything myself, and vet it for nutrition and health. That would be amazing. And I just thought that, for me, going through a food shop it's an awesome thing to do. And I love shopping. I don't do clothes shopping, but I love food shopping. And I needed to create a shop that I would enjoy and that I would like shopping in. And I think we've come close.
Okay, great. I'll be back shortly with Jackson's founder, Gary Jackson.
This is SoapBox Radio. Potting it out there with My Line Boots. The lifestyle. Share your thoughts and be part of the show now. Send a message on Twitter or Facebook at My Line Boots.
I'm back and live this afternoon chatting to the real food movement advocate, Gary Jackson. Gary, tell me, how do you ensure an alternative, healthy, nutrient-dense and chemical-free supply food in your store?
Well, it's not as easy as we think, and I see some meals coming
foods
across.
Have just arrived, yes.
Looks good. So it's not so easy, but I guess we're definitely not competing with other supermarkets or restaurants. We're specific and operate in a niche. We want clean food. We want food that is not mass-produced. And we want food that is not mechanically made or tampered with, as God wanted it. So, when you eat some beans, you have some beans, but you don't have them processed and sugar and spices and gluten added to it. So really that was almost going the single ingredient route. And I think that's one thing we do. We also focus on our sourcing. We source from not multiple farms, but beef from one farm, lamb from one area. And so the traceability and consistency of that product is guaranteed.
Okay. Speaking about real food, your staff have just brought us 3 real meals. You did a little bit of a test and a bit of an analysis of meals for us. Gary, do you want to talk to us through what you've done?
Well, I guess one of the challenges we have, Ryan, is that people perceive organic, pasture-raised as expensive food, but it's not necessarily so. One of the parts of an animal that is the most nutritious is organ meat, and we're talking about chicken livers, chicken hearts, and so we decided to do an experiment, and what we did was I'll put it up here. We did a Jackson's meal for 3 or 4.
Do you want me to hold that for you?
If you hold that for me.
There we go.
So essentially, we ran through the market this morning and bought some chicken hearts at 15 Rand a bag, some veg for 19, some spinach for 7 Rand 50, and then we added 1 Rand 50 for a bit of seasoning. So that came to 43 Rand. If we spread this meal amongst 4, it would be 10 Rand 75 per head. If you did it for 3, it'll probably be about 14 Rand a head. And you can probably just see it in the camera. But it's a healthy looking meal. And obviously we would down it with some water.
So here we have What do we have here, Gary?
Well, so we've got chicken hearts with stir-fry veg, and spinach.
Sure. Okay.
We used all the ingredients that we bought, and we know that because of the nutrition in this food, that it will be filling. I understand that starch is a big issue, but if you start with the right nutrients, it doesn't necessarily cost more.
So all of this food costs 43 Rand?
That's correct, yeah.
Cheapers,
three plates.
What is the average South African eating?
The sad part is, and it's a I guess a function of your disposable income.
Sure.
But white bread and cola.
Oh, really? Hey? So we've got traditional meal would look something like this, a normal fizzy drink.
A big percentage of people have Coke and a white bread, a mass-produced white bread.
What sort of cost are we looking at for that compared to the 43?
So we looked at a 2-litre Coke for 15. A white loaf around about 15, and sometimes it's a little more, sometimes it's a little less. But you're looking at 30 Rand
for that.
And if you look at the average construction employee or lunchtime employee that's on a budget, they'll split that in three. Three of them will share that meal, and you're looking at 10 Rand a person. Plays 10 Rand 75 or even 13 Rand for that.
And look at what you're getting relative to the two options, eh? Sure.
Yeah, and I think this thing of having your main meal at lunch and it's mainly starch and sugary drinks is a recipe for disaster, and certainly the opposite of longevity. This is a meal that you can enjoy. It's cooked with love, and the family can whip it up. I mean, this took us 7 minutes to cook.
Sure. Okay. Great, eh? So, Gary, tell us, what is a nutrient-dense food supply and why is it such an issue in 2018?
Well, unfortunately, there's a couple of things that the retailers generally want, and that's shelf life. So they want their product to last as long as possible so that it doesn't expire on their shelves.
Yeah.
So what the producers have to do is put in chemicals, put in emulsifiers and preservatives and colorants and dyes and a whole lot of nasties to make it look good, and obviously to make a thing and to make it last long. So that's where things, in my opinion, have gone wrong with the food system, and so it's just a lot of nasties going into food. So when we speak of nutrient dense, we're really comparing the nutrients you will get from a cola and a white loaf of bread versus these three plates. Yeah. So if you did the scientific analysis and looked at proteins and looked at vitamins, I mean, you're looking at not only the same price, but you're getting so much more bang in terms of nutrition. And our bodies don't need sugar and carbs. I mean, that's clear. We don't need a lot of it. We can have a little bit of it, but it's the type of sugar and the type of starches that you eat. But the human body, in my opinion, we're omnivores. I do believe that, and that's a wholesome meal.
Okay. So now, Gary, with that ethos, selecting suppliers to stock your shelves must be at the heart of your business model. Yeah. How do you go about doing that? And that must be crucial to your business.
Well, I started off this business saying that I wouldn't sell a thing unless I've tasted it and I've met the producer and I've built a relationship with the producer, because I think getting an eye-to-eye understanding of their ethos versus ours is important.
Sure.
And obviously their protocols, what they use, what they put in their food. It's all very well putting it on a label, but we've got to go and verify that it is real and it is as close to single ingredient food as we can get.
And is that as a regular process, or you are constantly updating suppliers and constantly revisiting suppliers the whole time?
We're one of the few retailers that actually physically ourselves go out to the farms as opposed to contracting that
somebody
out.
Else, yeah.
But we also have supplier meetings regularly, every 3-4 months, get together, keep them part of the business. They certainly are partners in our businesses. We're not doing this alone.
Yeah. And do you try to source supplies from the area in which the stores are located? We know we've got 2 stores, the Bryanston store, which we're in today, and you've just opened one in Kailami, which we'll speak about just now.
We love supporting local farmers, and I think the key is shortening supply chains. So what we do is we buy from the closest farms that we can with most of our produce. And the amazing thing, Ryan, is that spinach that we're looking at was picked this morning.
Sure.
And so your nutritional levels will be high. Vegetables die slowly and reduce in nutrition over time. So if you've got a 5 or 6 day supply chain, you're not going to get much nutrition out of that. So buying local, shortening supply chains is what we're all about.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of your business, Gary, I see from spending time in both your stores that your business ethos extends beyond that of just a typical employer.
Yeah, I'd agree with you on that. I think we're aiming at a conscious consumer, someone who really wants to maximize their time on the planet in terms of nutrition and wellness. But also, it's not about bottom line. And if we did this for bottom line and return investment, we'd be dead in the water. So it's more of a 3-pronged or 4-pronged approach.
Okay.
And I'll run through them quickly.
Sure.
Obviously, we need enough cash flow to keep us going.
Sure.
And that's always a daily challenge. It's not easy. And also, we want to keep our pricing as low as possible. So we rely on volume. And it's happening, thank God. But the second one is our other partners, our supplier, and we have a very intimate, close relationship with that, and we make sure that we manage them to the best of our abilities, and we work with them as partners, and we insist that they come into the business, spend time in the market, talk to customers, do tastings, and then the third group that we really focus on employees. And I don't think we just do lip service here. We really pay well above the minimum wage and any other retailer. And we focus on multi-skilling these guys. We generally employ only people who've never worked, so we train them from scratch.
Sure. Okay.
That will help the country. I think just creating employment. We've created a lot of jobs, not only just at the stores, but in the supply chains, on the farms, in distribution. It's really been an amazing experience. And then the fourth goal that we have is we've got to look after this planet. We have to sell stuff responsibly in the right packaging. We're greatly reducing our reliance on plastic. We recycle. We've got paper shopping bags. It goes on and on. It's from sourcing, it's water management, it's soil management, it's regenerative agriculture and producing. The thing around is that what will the 7th generation from us look like? What earth will they inherit? Will they be running around with oxygen masks and eating out of tubes like astronauts, or will they have a better earth than we have? And obviously, I think we all need to do something more about that. Yeah.
You were telling me when I met with you last week about your zero, almost the Kailami store. I'm not sure if it's both stores have almost a zero to landfill policy.
Yeah, we're very close to that. And you know what, it's not difficult. And I really want other retailers to embrace this. No paper, no cardboard goes into landfill. It's all recycled. We have a glass recycling program. Customers even use it. They bring their glass bottles off. You can reuse glass over and over. Plastic, we do recycle plastic. But obviously we're trying to move away from plastic and go into biodegradable plastics, which we're close to doing. And then our wet waste from our restaurant and any other wet waste goes into landfill. So not into landfill, sorry, it goes onto the farms.
Okay.
But we prep it and we make it into a semi-mulch compost. Yeah. And then that goes back onto our farm. So
then supplying your beef or whatever it may be.
Yeah. And feeding our animals, etc. Yeah. So it's that cycle that continues.
Yes. Okay. I'll be back shortly with Gary.
This is SoapBox Radio. Potting it out there with My Line Boots. The Lifestyle Edit. Share your thoughts and be part of the show now. Send a message on Twitter or Facebook at MyLineBoots.
I'm back this afternoon chatting to Real Food Movement advocate Gary Jackson of Jackson's Real Food Market. Gary, would Jackson's not be considered a boutique type store? How do you manage to deliver on everyday affordable prices if you're delivering this type of product? How do you get that right?
Well, it's pretty much a concept of ours, and it's a philosophy that we try and follow, and that is, if a farmer sells you a tomato for 10 Rand, the philosophical question is how much of that 10 Rand goes back to the farmer.
Yeah.
And we're looking at about 50 to 60% that goes back to the farmer of that price. So that holds our pricing policy quite tight, because we rather run with volume and make more people well than the other way around. So that philosophy we try our best to stick to. It's hell of a difficult, but just so that the listeners understand, the worldwide sort of norm is about 17 to 20% of the price on the ticket on the shelf goes back to the farmer, and I think that's just the wrong thing to do.
The wrong way around, eh? So very community-based, very community-centered, your stores.
Absolutely.
The whole ethos.
Yeah, I think so. We hire from our area, we buy produce from our area, very much community-based in terms of running yoga classes. We don't rent out. We offer up both our restaurants after 6:30 p.m. for community to have meetings, to do talks. So we like to see ourselves as part of the greater community of Joburg, and we just want people to come in and hang out and don't necessarily spend. Clip into the Wi-Fi, sip a coffee, and just chill. We don't look out onto a car park. I think we've picked sites really nice. It's greenery if you can see behind us, and in both stores it's like that. So it's a hangout spot, and it's pretty trendy, I think.
Yeah, no, very much. I mean, I was saying to you, I was here for lunch on Saturday. Really enjoyed the lunch here. Great service, great food. Really something interesting, Gary, both your stores hark back to what I would call the traditional grocer that we all grew up with. Is this intrinsic to the Jackson's DNA?
Absolutely. We talk about it in our pledges, and we've got 10 customer pledges, and one of them talks about bringing back the farm store of yesteryear, but delivering it in a convenient format and in a modern way, using modern technology. People in Joburg and all around the world, I guess, just want a one-stop shop. Where can I go and I can buy everything, and I know it's good quality, and I can, I'm essentially the gatekeeper for assurance to customers that what they're going to buy here has been vetted, and I think that gives housewives and customers just peace of mind. Gary, Jackson's won Best Food Market in the Best of Joburg 2018 awards, so evidently you're doing many things right. What is the secret to your success, do you think? Ryan, I think a lot of luck, but a lot of practice, and as old Gary Player would say, the more you practice, the luckier you get. We're very humbled by that award, especially being so new in the market. But I think we've really gone customer centric, and we've really done our homework in terms of what do customers really want in store. A decent decor. It's a big spend, food, and we want you to enjoy your shopping experience. We want you to take time, we want you to learn something, and we want you to taste something. So I think by making shopping more interactive and a lot more fun, it's certainly brought the feet, and people have responded well.
How do you educate consumers into why they should be shopping here rather than at a mass retailer?
Well, it's
how do you make that mind change work?
It's real tough, and a great question. I mean, we often joke and say we've got 3 objectives, and they're all about customer education and customer education and customer education, and of course staff education. So we have to we do a lot of signage in store, and we also spend a lot of time with social media. Telling stories about our suppliers, sending them educational stuff. So it's not around, we've got beans on a special. It's more about why you should eat beans and what are the benefits of eating beans. So, we want to connect people with the farms. That's the first objective, so that we're really more of a co-op. We're bringing a consumer closer to the farmer, but we're also doing one more thing, and that is to explain to people, why you should eat beans or beetroot or carrot or grass-fed beef or whatever it is, and what are the benefits, so that the customer can pick and make their choices. And obviously the big thing in the world at the moment is food intolerances, and I guess that's from all the funny things that they add to food these days. So it's a minefield trying to work out what you're allergic to, and why do you not enjoy this tomato soup, and why does it give you a rash. You would spend months working it out. All you need to do is go into a store like this, buy a tomato soup that only has tomato soup in, and only has
antibiotics and whatever else goes into these things.
There's nothing else, and the world's best preservative is a freezer. And I think a lot of people see frozen food as a low quality food, but in fact you're locking in the goodness at the farm, and it certainly is a great alternative to chemicals. Do
you find the consumers are coming on board with the new thinking, with this real food movement thinking?
I think it's...
Do you see that every day in your store?
I see it, and it's only going to work if it really works. So what I mean by that is we rely on good testimonials and repeat business, and we have a very high repeat business percentage. People, if they come here once, they generally do come back according to our systems that we monitor. So that's encouraging, and they like it. I mean, who doesn't want to be well?
Sure.
Who doesn't want more vitality? And who wants to, enjoy their life a little bit more? Because it's not all serious and eating, tasteless food. Life is about enjoying decent food, and I think a blessing. And I tell you now, we weren't sure of this in the beginning. The question we had was, would real field food taste better than the preserved option? And we weren't 100% sure about that. I mean, I believed it. But when customers started saying, geez, the benefit is it's not overpriced and it tastes better, that was a tick for one of our boxes.
It's a win-win, huh?
Yeah,
sure,
absolutely.
Very much so. Gary, talk to me about the expansion into a second store in Kyalami recently. Well,
that was pretty crazy. It was a bit soon. A good site came up. It's in a growth area. We saw the need. We're still trying to pull it off. We're 5 months in. It's doing great for only 5 months. It's a beautiful store looking over the Magaliesberg. It's got a lovely eatery in it. But it was a bit crazy, I must say. I guess it was a long shot. But I guess, Ryan, it shows the passion we have and how confident we are that more people need this kind of service. So we're not looking back.
100. That's great news, eh? Where to with the brand from here, Gary? Where's Jackson's headed?
Look, we've just got one aim, and that is to make people well, make people come back. Make sure they get decent service. They get smiles, they get a clean store, they get well-packed shelves, and that there are people out there to interact with. And that's really what the human craves is decent food, a nice atmosphere, a smile every now and again, and a nice experience. So all we do is just focus on one customer at a time. We're as good as the last customer we've served or packed their trolley for them. And if we keep doing the right stuff, I think that'll lead us in the right direction. And clearly we'd love to grow, but it's tough as a small businessman out there. You get no assistance from government. You get no assistance from banks necessarily. They help, but they're very conservative. So it's really hard to grow, very tough out there on your own.
Okay, are we going to see more Jacksons? Are we going to see them in Cape Town and Durban possibly? Sure. Or are you keeping that under your sleeve and close to your heart?
Not really. I guess it's customers that support small business, support South African brands, and support the small guy. If we get feet through the door, that'll directly relate into expansion and movement. And so we've got to create a experience that attracts people, but also to get the message out there that maybe you should be shopping more responsibly.
Yeah, very much so. I totally agree with you. So, Gary, as we wrap up, what has life taught Gary Jackson so far?
That nothing is easy. There's no easy road. There's no quick road to anywhere. It takes dedication. It takes passion. It takes a lot of grit and a lot of tears and just a lot of faith, I guess. And you get nothing for free. You arrive. You shouldn't expect anything from life or others. You got to create stuff for yourself, but also the passion of the human spirit. And whether it's a supplier or a customer or employee, it's just awesome. And that keeps me going every day.
Once you tap into that,
you can
access it.
I don't think people are buying into their jobs and into their products and into their lives, and I think you must expect more as a customer. And if we can deliver that need and continue to change and do that, I think we've got ourselves a business, and it's really not my business. It's our business. It's the customer's business, and we love it like that. We just a facilitator of bringing all these parties together.
I like that word co-op that you used earlier. It really does make sense, in this environment. Tell me, Gary, where's the best place for people to find Jacksons if they want to come and explore on social media?
The best place would be either Insta, Instagram or Facebook.
Okay.
Just type in Jackson's Real Food Market.
Yeah.
We'll definitely come up. Lots of stuff to read on those sites. A lot of video clips. And it will continue it running. I mean, it's a great way to educate yourself about food, even if you never ever shop here.
Yeah. Great, guys. If you have a look at my Facebook or my Twitter, you'll see I've just posted all of Jackson's contact details. Get hold of them, follow them, see what they're about, and come and explore the store like I've been doing over the last few days. Thanks, Gary. That brings us to the end of today's show, live from Jackson's Real Food Market here in Bryanston. Gary, thank you for your time today, and I wish you everything of the best going forward.
Thank you so much, and we really appreciate your time in our store.
Cool. Thank you so much, Gary. Guys, that was SoapBox Radio for this Thursday. Next week, we're going to do another show about food. We're doing an update with Jackie McQuay-Wilson, who spoke to us about her venture forth into the vegan lifestyle, which she was initially going to do for a week and has continued doing that for a couple of months now. So hang tight for next week when we all touch base together again, and we'll chat with Jackie. I'll see you guys next week.
You've been listening to SoapBox Radio, potting it out there with my Lime Boots.